Greetings, Henry.
Well, finally, I've had quite a wait.
Why do you want to talk to me, of all people?
You brought me here. You should consider it an honor.
If hanging around in a damp dungeon with a condemned man is your idea of honor...
You're not seeing the bright side. You can be the one who uncovers a conspiracy against the king for your master. You don't get an opportunity like that every day. It did cross my mind, though, that it might be nice to get some assurances for my cooperation. After all, I'm the one the Margrave unjustly declared the scourge of the land and expelled from Moravia. They even pulled my beautiful castle down. It was the necessity of making a living that forced me to take some liberties.
I suppose there's some truth in that. I may speak with Sir Radzig and he might pardon you, but not unless you start talking.
Very well, ask me anything you want. I won't be obstructive.
What I want to know most of all is who's behind it. Who are you making those forgeries for?
Do you think I couldn't have handled it all myself?
I'm not trying to insult you. It's just not a job one man could do alone.
All right, the way it began was I was short of coin, as usual. So I let those crimps in Sasau recruit me.
Recruit you into what?
I didn't inquire too much. In this business, you don't ask too many questions. But when they found out I wasn't just anybody, they put me in charge of the counterfeiting. A foreigner by the name of Eric gave me instructions. But for sure, he isn't the chief. And there's someone highly placed at the monastery who's mixed up in it too. But I don't know who.
How did you come to hear of all this business?
I met some old friends in Colleen a few months ago, and they said they were heading for Sasau, that armed men were being recruited, and they'll hire anyone.
Old friends? Who were they?
Just a couple of brigands. We used to ambush the Margrave's messengers in Moravia together.
Nice friends you keep.
I was in dispute with the Margrave. A man in my position finds himself mixed up with all sorts.
And then what?
Rapota and I had been living off stale crusts for a month, so I wasn't going to turn down the chance of work, honest or otherwise. We rode to Sasau and met with the recruiters. It didn't take long to realize I was a nobleman fallen on hard times, not some common peasant.
Can you get to the point?
Well, they introduced me to this Eric, and he told me what was needed. They set up the workshop, got the men, the supplies, everything.
This Eric, you reckon he's not the one in charge?
He puts on airs, but he's just a naive young pup. And he's always going on about his lord, though he never mentioned him by name.
Where can I find this Eric? You must have had some meeting place.
He used to come to the workshop unannounced, and after what's happened, I doubt he'll be showing his face there again.
Crimps? You're telling me this Eric is recruiting armed men in Sasau?
Well, it seems so. I was giving the recruiters some of the coins to do it. The fake ones, of course.
Where can I find the recruiting gang?
That's tricky. It was my friends who led me to them. We met with them in the woods next to Sasau. It's about who you know, as always.
You said you gave them money. Where was that?
They'd ride to the mine gallery to see me. I don't suppose you'd find them there now.
If you say so.
This highly placed person at the monastery, what can you tell me about him?
I've no idea who he is, only that he's no small fry. After all, he handles the exchange of the forgeries in Passau.
I see. Is there anything else at all you can tell me about him?
No, he was supposed to supply me with materials too, but he backed out. Eric said he probably got cold feet.
That'll do me for the moment.
Will you put in a word for me with Sir Radzig? I'll swear allegiance to him if he'll have me. I'm sick of being a renegade.
I can try, but I can't promise you anything.
What the hell?
Good day, Henry. Hey.
So what have you learned?
All sorts of things.
There's some foreigner called Eric behind the counterfeiting ring, and someone highly placed at the monastery.
The monastery? Really?
That's what Jezek claimed.
So it's worse than I thought. If this is true, we'll have to proceed with the utmost caution.
Why? Can't we just go to the monastery to investigate?
No. If the church is truly involved, I have no authority.
I understand. There's no messing around with the church.
Quite. Especially when we're not sure which side it's on.
What shall we do about it? We can't just leave it like that.
I'll have to think about it. It won't be an easy nut to crack. I'll have to consult with Hanush. And what of this Eric? Who is he?
I don't know, but he's recruiting armed men in Sasau and forming an army.
Damn. So it looks like Pribyslavitz wasn't the end of it.
It most certainly wasn't, sir. And what's more, Sir Jezek is convinced this Eric is only a go-between, and there's someone bigger behind him.
You should return to Sasau and take a closer look at those recruiters. If they're going to attack, we must find out sooner than last time.
It might not be as straightforward as that. Sir Jezek didn't know them and has no idea how to find them.
You'll have to manage somehow, my lad.
Don't tell me there's an armed force amassing here and nobody knows anything. Go to Sasso and try to find them.
I think I know where I could ask. I helped at the infirmary in Sasau, and there was a wounded man there by the name of Thomas, a suspicious type to say the least. He might know something.
Good. I'd rather see you seeking out better company, but that can't be helped. Whatever you do, be careful, Henry. And best not mention my name. It would attract unwelcome attention. What we want is for the crimps to take you for just another village lad they can lure into their gang.
All right, sir. I'll try to blend in as best I can.
I know I'm asking a lot of you, but I know of no one else who could help as much as you can now.
Sir, there's one more thing. Sir Jezek went with me without resistance, because I promised him he could come to an agreement with you.
My boy, my boy. You make promises in my name? That could turn out very badly for both of us. But, if it can prevent bloodshed, why the hell not? We may well come to some arrangement after all, but I can't say yet what will become of him. You'd better run along.
As you command, sir.
Pitiful. It's just arms. He used to earn much more.
Yes, but this is a mill, not a silver mine.
Huh. Not even our mine chief Nemo was as much of a half-wit as our new mill foreman. And that's saying a lot.
Yes, but right now we're here. God grant you health. How may I help you?
Are you happy here?
It's not worth a damn. If I had any choice, you wouldn't see my heels for dust.
What's happened? Did you two get yourselves into trouble?
A fine friend you are, assuming it's our own bloody fault.
Oh, come on. You know what you two are like. I had to ask.
Well, perhaps with that monk. But now, the foreman's got it in for us. If he could, he'd skin us alive.
Always forcing you to work, is he?
If only. That wouldn't be so awful. But nothing we do is good enough for him. There's always some reason for him to yell at us.
I can imagine.
You know what it's like. We do too little, and it takes us too long, and what we eat's worth more than the work we've done, and it's no fun listening to that sort of shit day after day.
And the miller won't stick up for you. I would have thought all the yelling would drive him mad.
Not really. He trusts that loudmouth bastard more than us. He's got us down for a pair of parasites.
I see.
What's so stupid is the mill really needs us. They haven't had any hands here for quite a while, and the mill needs a lot of fixing. But with him around, we can't even get to work.
And you definitely don't... You don't ever provoke him?
I've already told you once, he's an arsehole. I'd say there's nothing we can do about it. If he wants to yell at us, he'll yell at us.
Have you tried talking with him?
What do you think? But that just sets him off. He starts saying we're practically bandits, and what he's going to do about it. That gets Fritz going, and he starts yelling too, and...
And what do you want to do about it? Just run away?
Actually, I'd like to stay here, at least for a bit. I never would have thought I'd like working in a mill, but not with him around. It's unbearable, and there's no one I can complain to. But you could.
Me? Do you think they'll listen to me?
They did once already, didn't they? They hired us because of you. You could have another word with them.
Back then, making promises was enough. Now, it will be worse.
You can forget about the miller. It's Thomas you need to convince. The miller takes his opinion seriously. So, will you do it for us? Again?
Fine. I'll try and talk to him.
I'm glad. But try not to get on his wrong side. You won't get anywhere with him then.
I'll keep that in mind.
Greetings.
Matthew told me your foreman's a fool, and you're not exactly filled with Christian love for him.
You better believe it. I'd like to pay him back for everything and drown him in the river.
Drown him? What's he done to you?
It was the first or the second day here. We had a disagreement and I told him off. And then, all of a sudden, we're fighting and that fucker just throws me in the river. I nearly drowned.
Well, how did you get out? I thought you couldn't swim.
I can't. They pulled me out. I was up to my waist in water.
I see. Well, I'd be pretty fucking angry too. So you want to pay him back?
Exactly. I don't give a shit about anything around here, but that bastard's in need of a good trouncing.
What about the others at the mill? Are they awful as well?
The miller's an old fool. He believes every word that comes out of Thomas's mouth. It's hopeless. And then there's the miller's daughter. She's a pretty lass, and kind with it. But what can she do? Nothing. Not that it stops Matthew going to see her. But Thomas is the root of the problem.
Do you think he's jealous? Is she a sweetheart?
He might make puppy dog eyes at her, but most of the time he just struts about like a peacock. I really don't think she's the problem.
And what do you want to do about it? Do you think you can come to an agreement?
No fucking chance. Matthew hopes so because he likes it here. It's true the work's better than the mines, but the pay's worse.
So how do you plan on dealing with it? Leaving?
Perhaps. But first, I want to give Thomas a proper trouncing. I mean a real thrashing.
And you think that will help?
Maybe. Maybe it'll knock some sense into that fat head of his. Or he'll be too frightened to mess with me.
That might help.
So why don't you arrange a fight with him? If we win, he'll leave us alone. Oh, we could...
What?
We could lure him off someplace far away and then wait for him. Maybe to play dice with Lawrence. He would have to go through the dark woods.
I'll think about it.
hope I can be of some humble service to you.
So what do you think about the workers I brought you?
If I hadn't put in a good word for them, the miller would have thrown them out by now.
I heard them say something else.
So they're complaining, are they? I provide for them, and all they do is slack off.
Isn't it the miller who provides for them?
He can't manage the work anymore. If it weren't for me, there'd be nothing left standing around here.
But you need the help anyway, and they're pretty handy.
Maybe, but they're in no danger of overworking themselves. They act like they're too good for the mill, and I saw them eyeing up Jane.
Nothing strange about that. She's a pretty girl, and she's of an age to marry.
It's not marriage they've got on their minds. They'd have their way with her, then before her belly started to grow, they'd have run for the hills.
Look, we can reach an agreement. You need the mill fixed, they need the money. If they have peace to do their work, they'll be able to finish it faster.
But
And then they'll take their groschen and leave. The mines will open again, and the faster they get their money, the quicker they'll be gone.
But do you really think I can trust them to do it? Will they do their work and leave? And leave Jane alone in the meantime?
Of course. They're not interested in the mill. They just need the coin to pay their debts. Once they've got enough, they'll have no reason to stay here.
I never thought we could sort it out this way.
I've known them for a long time, and you can rely on them when it comes to this. Everybody will be better off.
All right. If they keep their part of the bargain, I'll even give them a few extra groschen. But woe betide them if they don't. You can tell them that. Are you serious?
It took some doing, but I made a deal with him.
I'm glad to hear it. So we can stay here? He'll leave us be?
He'll leave you alone, but there are conditions. Once you finish your job, you'll vanish from here. But you'll get an extra groschen or two for your troubles.
And that's it? I thought... Never mind.
Oh, and you're to stop dallying with the miller's daughter. Keep on mucking about with her and you'll muck things up for yourselves.
The fucking bastard. He can go fuck himself. He'd better give us enough groschen to make it worth it. But I suppose I should thank you. You may have brought us some peace and quiet, and that's better than nothing. Here's something for your help.
I'd like to ask about that Thomas again.
What is he?
What do you want?
How are you doing? Feeling better yet?
Aye, much better. I'm truly grateful. A bit longer and I'll be able to run back to the woods and carry on. Well, never mind. Very kind of you to look in on me.
Truth be told, I didn't come just for your health.
What do you need?
Well, I've heard tell there's work for fearless men who enjoy a bit of silver.
Ah, I believe I can help you with that. They used to frequent the tavern, but now they meet in the church.
The church?
Aye, that's right. The church is locked at night, but if you see a light, the door will be open. Go in there and wait. Say a prayer or something, and then you'll see.
That's it? I don't need to speak to anyone?
Just doing what I told you is enough. They'll give you a good look over and see if you've got the metal. Don't you worry about that.
All right, thank you.
You took care of me, why wouldn't I help you? Tit for tat, eh?
Damn.
Be a bit more careful. What the hell?
How are you, Henry?
Hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in
Amen.
heaven. What?
So, you've been looking for us, eh? What is it you want?
I hear you're hiring men who don't mind getting their hands dirty.
Is that so? And where did you hear that?
Taverns and the like? People talk.
Oh, that's a pretty tale. But no one in any tavern told you to come here and wait, did they? So let's have it. Who told you?
I don't recall his name, but he was one of your friends. He said that he couldn't take me straight to you, that I had to go through the church.
He was right about that. But he still said more than he should have.
I know my way around. You won't go wrong with me.
Spare me the boasting. I've got a test ready for you. Let's see how you handle it before you tell us how wonderful you are.
What test?
Nothing complicated. We used to take anyone who looked like they could keep their head on straight. But not now. Now you can only join if you do what we tell you.
Which is what? Steal something?
Nah, not theft. If you want to join us, you have to kill Pius.
Who's Pius, and why should I kill him?
That's none of your business. But I'll tell you anyway, because it's an instructive tale. Pius was one of us, but he fucked up.
How? Did he steal something?
Yeah, that was part of it. Stole some money, ran away. A few boys died over it. Showed a distinct lack of loyalty. And as soon as he's dead, you can join us.
I'll have to find him first.
You don't need to find him. We know where he is.
Then why haven't you killed him yourselves?
It's quite a test. He's hiding in a monastery.
With the stable boys? It's not hard to get into the grounds.
No, not there. Oh, he would have been dead long since. He's in the, cloister, or whatever it is.
But only monks can get in there.
Just monks and Pius. He's an educated bastard. Seems he used to be a priest, but it didn't quite work out.
And how am I supposed to get into the cloister?
You'll think of something. Maybe there's a secret passage. I've heard there's some cave underneath. The cave of St. Procopius. There might be a way into it from outside.
And do you have any other ideas besides secret passages?
Well, there is this one fellow been hanging around the taverns. Supposed to join the monastery soon. Might be he could help you somehow. I'd try talking to him if I were you. And if he doesn't help, knock him on his ass and take anything he's got that you could use to pass yourself off as him. A letter of admittance to the monastery, or whatever.
Murder someone in a monastery? Have you gone mad?
Murder's a sin as it is. Doesn't really matter where you do it.
Yes, it does. I'd be spilling blood on hallowed ground.
Well then, knock him senseless, drag him outside, and finish him off where it's less sacred. I don't give a damn where you do it, just as long as he ends up dead.
How will I recognize Pius?
He won't have been there long. He should be the only new one there.
But what if there are others? What does he look like?
Normal. He always went about well dressed and had a fine looking dagger.
Yes, except he'll be given a robe and they'll take his knife.
Then you'll have to try and figure out which one of the novices it is, and get him to betray himself. Try getting him drunk, then send him straight to hell.
Get him drunk? In a monastery?
We're better. There's more wine there than in the royal cellars, and I doubt he suddenly stopped drinking.
And do you have any other test?
We're not hiring stable boys. We want men who are prepared to do anything. And this is the toughest task we've got.
So how many men have you already sent?
Just a handful.
And what happened to them? Did they hang?
Just the first one. The others turned tail. Guess they didn't have the stomach for it.
Fine. So I've got to kill Pius. He's in the cloister, and to get into the cloister, I'll need to enlist the help of some boy who's joining the order, right?
More or less. And now the main thing.
The main thing is to kill him, isn't it?
Of course. But that's not all. All hell's gonna break loose in the monastery after the murder. So, either make sure nobody finds him, or hightail it out of there quick as soon as the job's done. But better if they don't find him right away.
And what else? Should I come back here afterwards?
No. Before you run for it, take his special dice and bring it as proof that you killed him. And if you can get him to tell you where he hid the coin, bring that as well.
Bring his dice and the money if I find it. And where should I bring it?
From the monastery, head east across the river. There'll be a swamp where you'll find a fire pit. Go there at night and light a fire. Make it nice and big and we'll show up. Take the dice and the money, and then tell you where to report. Got it?
Right, I'm to slip into the best guarded place in the entire region and kill someone. Take his dice and money, and then go to the swamp and wait by the fire.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Well, you can at least say a few Hail Marys for me. I'm gonna need all the help I can get.
And remember, we'll be keeping tabs. So don't you try to run off, alright?
How are you, Henry? Are you serious?
Be a bit more careful.
What is it?
God be with you, lad. What can I do for you?
Sir, this investigation into the Neuhof massacre, it's getting a bit complicated.
What have you found out?
I tracked down a gang of robbers who recruited killers for Pribyslavitz. They know the Horsons who torched Neuhof.
That's excellent news. Did you find out any more?
So far, not much. If I'm going to infiltrate them, I have to do what they say. That means murdering one of their former cronies, a fellow they call Pius. Apparently he was at Neuhof too.
You have to kill a criminal to prove yourself to them? Huh. I don't much like the sound of it.
That's not the worst of it. This Pius is hiding out in the monastery pretending to be a novice. I'd have to get inside the cloisters to get at him.
Good God above, that's another matter entirely. They don't let just anyone into the cloisters, and the abbot won't give up any of the novices. Secular law has no jurisdiction inside the monastery. But this is the second time that something untoward has happened there. First the counterfeiters, now this. I'd be glad to have someone take a look inside.
What should I do with Pius once I find him?
Don't kill him. Bring him to the bailiff in Rattay. He'll interrogate the man and give him a fair trial.
Henry.
It doesn't sound like an easy task, sir. Getting into the cloisters, finding Pius, and then getting him to the bailiff.
Far from it, lad. But I have confidence in your abilities.
It seems like the only way to find Pius is to join the order. Damned if I know how, though.
A bit of meditation and learning would do you good. If it's really the only way to get to him, then you'll have to do it. I'm sorry I can't be of much help. Sadly, my relations with the monastery aren't entirely congenial. You'll have to figure something out for yourself.
What is...
Here.
God grant you health. How may I help you?
Are you Carl by any chance?
God save
I
Henry.
am. Why do you ask?
I've heard that you're bound for the monastery.
Want ale, please?
Yes, it's true.
Aye,
But I've
I'll be
convinced
back
my
in 2 shakes.
faithful guardian, Manfred, to give me a few more days of freedom. Mind you, he won't let me visit the brothel, so instead I'm devoting those days to the demon drink. With whom do I have the honor of speaking?
My name is Henry.
Pleased to meet you, Henry.
Let's have a drink.
A man after my own heart. The drink's on me.
Hey, Henry's come to
And
see
will
us.
my guardian angel here join us in imbibing? No, he will not. Perish the thought. My dear, dear lad, what a cross I have to bear. You know, after the tavern, we should pay a visit to some whores. But Manfred won't let me. Get rid of him.
As you wish.
There's something I'd like to talk about.
Only an ale.
What if I entered
One
the
ale over
monastery
here,
instead of
please.
you?
I would give you your weight in gold, if I had any. But Manfred there, my guardian angel and caretaker, has all the coin, and he never takes so much as a single step away from me. If you help me get rid of him.
He's been listening to us the entire time.
So what? Listen, friend, let's raise a glass. Manfred here is a sleepy old goat. We can talk once he dozes off. Please, get rid of him for me, any way you can.
What is it?
I'm gonna crush someone's skull.
God save you, good knight. What can I do for you?
You're Manfred, the young lord's guardian?
Indeed I am. Why?
I've been looking for you two for quite some time.
Cheers.
I've been sent by the young lord's father with a message intended only for him.
Has my lord changed
May
his
the
mind at
Lord
the
watch
last
over
minute?
you, Henry.
Please bring
Who
us
are
something to
you?
eat.
I've never seen you before. You look trustworthy enough. I'll leave you two alone for a little while.
Here we are.
Manfred's taken care of, just as you wanted.
Thank God! He won't let me out of his sight for a second, and he's itching to get me in the monastery so he can head back home.
Why are you being sent to the monastery?
Like every lusty young lad, I'm fond of fair maidens, but I got too fond of one, and let's just say she was, indisposed for 9 months.
But they don't send you to the monastery for that.
They do, when it's the daughter of the lord of your fief.
Shit.
Shit is putting it mildly. The Lord of Bukover was less than pleased. He knows he'll never marry off his daughter now, so he gave father a choice. Either pay him 1,000 groschen in
Certainly.
compensation,
I'll fetch it
along
right
with
away.
my balls on a silver platter, or pay 1,000 groschen and put me away somewhere no one will ever see me again.
Coming right up.
Why does your guardian never leave your side?
So I don't run away. Of course, I'm free to walk around, but he watches every step I take and won't stop until I'm behind the monastery walls.
Well, he's not watching you now.
What good is that to me when he has all the money, and even my saddle and riding cloak under lock and key?
Why don't you just run away?
Bare arsed. What the hell would I do? I don't know how to work, I have no money, and that old bastard's even taken my cloak. He has me in the palm of his hand.
But there are poor people everywhere and they get by somehow.
If I have to choose between hunger and poverty on one hand and the monastic life on the other, I'm afraid the monastery wins. If I could only steal that old man's pouch, I'd be gone faster than lightning and no one would ever
God
see
be
me
with
again.
you, Henry.
What if I entered the monastery instead of you?
What? Voluntarily? You don't look like someone who'd want to spend the rest of his days on his knees praying. Well, that's your problem. You can only enter the monastery if you know how to read and write, and if you have a special writ from the abbot. That's a letter confirming they know who you are and that they've accepted you.
So you give me your writ? I'll just tell them I'm you.
Manfred has the writ. You'd have to take it from him, but he only puts it down when he sleeps.
So I'll steal it and then you can disappear.
Disappear? Bare arsed. What the hell would I do? I don't know how to work, I have no money, and that old bastard's even taken my cloak. He has me in the palm of his hand.
But there are poor people everywhere and they get by somehow.
If I have to choose between hunger and...
That's all then.
Pour me one.
Damn! I'd like to speak to you about something.
What's on your mind?
I hear you've got a writ signed by the abbot granting entry to the monastery.
Indeed I do. What of it?
I need it.
What good would it do you? You don't want to become a monk instead of him, do you?
Yes, I do actually. But I'll need that writ to do it.
Now that's funny. I've never heard such nonsense in my life. The boy must enter the monastery, and there's no way around it. If you want to become a monk as well, you'll have to earn your own place.
But he doesn't want to be a monk.
I know. Unfortunately, there's no other way. You see, he gave the Lord of Bukova an unwanted grandchild. He can count himself lucky he wasn't castrated straight away.
But normally you just need to pay some form of compensation for that sort of offence, don't you?
Yes, 1,000 groschen. But a boy would keep chasing after women, and who knows how it would all end. The monastery really is the safest place for him.
What if you let him run away?
The Lord of Bukova would have me whipped. Karl isn't slipping through my fingers.
What if I give you a few shiny groschen for that writ?
Could you give me enough to compensate for all those years of pay I'd lose?
Hand over that writ of acceptance right now, or things will get ugly.
Pardon me? I wouldn't give you that writ even if you threatened to kill me. Honor and duty won't allow it.
Christ! Somebody help! Damn it! Alarm! Quick, everyone, come here!
God be with you, Henry.
My pleasure.
God grant you health. How may I help you?
I've got what you need.
Excellent. Give me the purse. You can do as you like with the writ.
Let me have some grub. Whatever's quick.
Here's half the purse.
Half? What about the rest?
I'm keeping it for my efforts.
Well, I can't say that seems fair to me, but what can I do?
Don't move a finger. Surrender. You've committed a crime and I'm arresting you.
Hear me!
It's you. You crippled someone. You should have thought twice about what you were doing. That will land you a fat fine.
All right, here you are.
All right. Just make sure it doesn't happen again.